Hi there, it's David Young, and we're here today, winter's day here in Kent. We're only talking 5 degrees, and we're going to talk a little bit about winter golf. And again, we're going to look at what are the right things to do. Everything about today, we've had a week of quite cold weather, quite frosty. It's now thawed out, but the greens have become very, very soft. So what we're going to do today is just a 3-hole challenge. I'm going to talk you a little bit through what I would do in the summer, but the difference now if we're playing in the winter, and get the idea of what you need to do. And the biggest thing I would say to everybody, you need to hit more club in the winter time. The ground is soft, the ball's not going to roll, the air's heavy, it's not going to fly so well. You're probably not feeling as good. Look how much I'm wrapped up today. I've got the woolly hat on today, it's that cold. So 5 degrees, the golf ball isn't going to perform as it should. So I'd say you're going to lose about 10% of your distance just through the temperature. Then we're not going to get any roll on the shot, so we're going to lose distances there. So as I go along, I'll give you a rough idea where I'd expect it to be in the summer and where I'm going to end up today, and then may that change the choice of club that I'm going to use when I'm playing. And that's really important to understand. So we're actually on the temporary tee here, we're not on the normal tee. We're going to play the second, third and fourth hole, and we're going to show you how to play that. But the second hole here, we're on a temporary tee, and again, psychologically for a lot of golfers, we've now got this bush in front of us. But the key thing is the club that we're going to hit, we're looking around about 150-yard hole. If you hit it nicely, you're going to go over that. So it's just there to get in your head. It's not really there. It's not really a problem. So let's see what we got. Flag looks towards the back of the green, so it might be a little bit longer. So we're talking 158 yards to get to that flag. Okay, it's right at the back of the green. I know the greens are going to be receptive, so I can think, well, I can fly it all that way. So again, in the summer, that might be a nice solid 7-iron. But as we said, it's only 5 degrees today. I'm going to hit one more club. I'm going to hit a 6-iron. See if that's okay. So let's grab a 6-iron. An important thing is just stick to your routine. And I think sometimes, especially on par threes, when you know the distance of a hole and then you're hitting more club, you can very easily not sort of commit to the shot. You sort of end up sort of half hitting it, and then you still end up short, and you think, oh, I should have hit even more club. So whatever you decide, commit. I think that's the big thing. So I've made the decision. I think 6-iron today should be good. There's no wind out here. It's just cold. And let's see if we can keep that rhythm and tempo. That's my key thought when I play. And let's see what we get. So if I'm honest, I can't probably strike a 6-iron any better than that. Just on the left edge of the green. And I've made the right decision. I'm pin high, probably about 20 feet away. So you can see there, just by taking those ideas in, 5 degrees, hit one more club. It was the right decision on that shot, struck it nicely. Again, if I probably hit my average strike, as I've said, that was probably the best I could strike it, I'd have probably ended up in the middle of the green. But because of the fact that as I've gone down there, I've realised it's right at the back, and that's where the laser's really good. I made sure I got enough club to get me there. We'll go down, see if we can make a 2 on this par 3. That would be a nice start on our 3-hole challenge. So we've come up to the green. Tee shot was from there. You can see I've ended up exactly pin high. Really happy with that shot. So again, this is the thing we say, we're learning as we're going along. Make sure you stick that in the memory bank. Over 150 yards there, hit a 6-iron, and we've ended up pin high. So if I get that shot later today, again, there's no wind, make sure you're hitting that extra club. Get it there. There's no roll on it. Can feel under my feet, green quite soft as we had a few frosty days. It's now thawed out, but you can probably sense there's a bit of that firmness still a little bit under, but the water isn't quite disappearing. So that might affect my putt. Have a little look what's on your line. So let's see what we got. Got a little bit of debris here. Again, just one of those situations where you get a little bit of that on your line. Loose impediments, get them out of your way. And just go through your green reading method, okay? So I look at it. I was at the hole. I should have started there, but let's go back to it. And I look at the hole and I work out where's the water going to run. If it started flooding, where would the water run if it came out the hole? I feel it's going to run towards me here. So I'm at 6 o'clock where I'm standing at the moment. My ball then is sort of sitting around about sort of 2 o'clock-ish. So it's going to be downhill. It's going to be a right to left breaking putt. How many paces have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 paces. It looks a little bit more than average, the slope. So I'm going to take that as a 3. So I'm going to aim around about 5 hole widths to the right-hand side of the hole. Well, I don't know really, again, winter golf, I don't really know what the speed of the green's going to be like because it feels this water underneath. So it's a little bit like I said, I've got to learn. And just go with your experiences of what you've done maybe before in conditions like this, and just whatever happens, commit to that idea. So we're only about 5 hole widths to the right. There's a leaf there close to that line. Let's commit to that line. Let's see what we get. And again, just because that winter green's just bobbled a bit, come up a couple of feet short, should just drop in from the right edge. Yeah, so I got my 3. Again, what I can learn from that later on in the round, if I get a putt like that, even though it was downhill, it's not rolling at the moment. That's okay. It's winter. You've just got to look at it and go, that's what it is. So I'm okay with that. If somebody said to me on the tee, you're going to make a par, I'll take it. It was an opportunity, maybe from what, we 7 paces away, about 18 feet, which is a better than average tee shot. I might have been able to make a birdie. Okay, I didn't. I got my par. Let's go play the next hole. So our second hole today is what is actually the 3rd hole here at Corinthians. It's a par 4, 326 yards, goes up, dogleg round, and if you've seen some of my videos before, we play over a pond onto the green. It's my favourite hole on the golf course. But again, it's winter conditions. Let's assess what we've got to do and restructure how we're going to play it. Summer, this is a hybrid off the tee for me, and it leaves me probably a wedge, 9, any sort of club around that distance from the hole, and I'm quite happy with that. But is that hybrid going to get me far enough down the hole? From what I learned on the par 3, I'm going to hit more clubs. So I'm going to take my fairway wood on this hole and see if we can get it to where I'd normally be with the hybrid in the summer, and then maybe leave myself somewhere like a 9 or an 8 iron into the green. That would be my ideal situation. So let's grab my fairway wood. And again, I've chosen this club. I'm just trusting it. Got the marker post up there in the distance. I just like to hit it just right at that with a little bit of draw, and that'll work nicely for this hole. So again, once I'm there, I've pictured that shot. Nice rhythm and tempo. Let's see what we get. Okay, hasn't quite got the draw, but it's okay. So it should be on the fairway. So it hasn't quite gone round the dog leg, but it shouldn't have run out on the other side because of the conditions. And if that is the case, we'll probably have an 8 iron or so into the green, which I'm okay with. So as I thought off the tee, ball hasn't gone too far. There's trees there, you can see them on the right. If I'd gone another 10, 15 yards, it would have run into the trees. I'm in trouble. Soft, wet conditions, cold air, ball hasn't flown so far. So it's not far off where my hybrid would be. Got preferred lies at the moment, so just to explain that, just put a tee in. I can pick my ball up, I can clean it, and now I've got a 6-inch area, like a semicircle, no nearer the hole, that I can bring the ball back to. And it's to do 2 things. One, stops you from having bad sort of mud on your ball, keep your ball nice and clean so you get a better flight. Also looks after the golf course. If you keep ending up in little bad conditions and you keep taking more of a divot out of it, it's going to make it worse. So we can move that onto a nice piece of grass, put it there, and then once I pull the tee out, now that ball's back in play. So that's just how you prefer a lie. But let's get a distance, okay? Rob, the greenkeeper here, has put a bit of what I call a sucker flag. It's only just on the green. So it's 117 to the flag. It's 110 to carry the water, okay? And it's really easy for you to think, oh, I want to get it close to the flag, 117 yards. How can I do it? If I just carry the water 110, well, that for me is a nice solid pitching wedge. But really, if I get it wrong, I can feel under my feet after all the thawing out, the ground's a little bit wet. I want to make sure I'm making a nice smooth swing. So we're back to my rhythm and tempo again. And we're on a little bit of a downhill lie, so it'll make my club a little bit more powerful. But 9 iron should be plenty of club. But again, it's that ego thing. I've not suddenly thought, oh, I should be able to get a wedge there. My brain is saying, no, make sure you've got enough club. And even if you look at that and you still don't fancy that, when you look at the situation of what we've got in front of us, we've probably got 40 feet of green behind the flag. Now, the greens are not going to be quick. So even if you go past, it's a downhill putt. It's not going to be that quick. So you could look at it from there and think, okay, I could even take an 8 iron from here and make sure I'm over. But this should be plenty of club to get me there. So nice solid strike. Let's see what we get. And all I'm thinking, I know I've got enough club, tempo, good swing. Now, this will be interesting. If I turn round, I've carried the water, but I've got a face full of mud. So I must have just caught the ground slightly before it. And I don't know if that's there and visible to see, but yeah, got a face full of mud. So just fractionally caught it early, but because I committed nicely to the shot, I got enough contact on it. And probably because I took one more club, I got over. Actually, looking at the result, I think I've ended up about 12 feet pin high. So if I'd hit it purely, I'd have been comfortably probably 20 feet past the flag. Because I did get that tiny little bit of grass before, it's killed it, ended up better result. But if I'd done that with a wedge, I'm in the water. Okay, let's grab that divot. Let's make sure we put that back. And again, make sure you look after your golf courses that you're playing at. Okay, this time of year, yeah, you've got preferred lies. You can get relief from being in somebody else's divot mark, but in the summer you can't. Okay, and it takes a long time for a divot to repair itself. So if you can, get that divot, replace it, look after the golf course, because again, you don't want to end up in a divot, so don't leave them for other people. Okay, we got a little bit fortunate with that shot. Let's go down and see what the result is and see if we can make a birdie. So here we are, we're on the green, and as I said, got a little bit fortunate. How far have we ended up away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paces. Here's my pitch mark. So as I said, got that distance that I wanted, carried comfortably to where I want to be. Again, like we did on the fairway, repair your divots, repair your pitch marks. Make sure you're doing that correctly. So then when you physically come and play, the greens will be in lovely condition. Now, anybody who plays Corinthians, here's a little golden rule. Just the way the camera's set up, we've got the pond over there, and there's a bush at this front side of the pond. So if you're standing in the middle of the green, it's basically the bush on the very far right at the front of the green as you look back down the hole. The green runs towards that bush. So look where my ball's ended up, pretty much in line with that. So this should be a pretty straight putt. But if you're putting from anywhere else on the green, the ball will turn towards this bush. So if that is the case, that's my 6 o'clock position on my clock face idea. This should be a straight uphill putt. Make sure I learn from last hole. I didn't give it enough to get there. Let's make sure we give this a chance. Oh, just broke a tiny bit. Gave it a go though, happy with that, got the speed right. So, never going to be disappointed with a par on that hole. And considering I got a face full of mud on the second shot, really happy with that. Okay, let's go play our third and final hole, which is the 4th hole here at Corinthians. So our third hole is a par 4, what I call a 10 o'clock dog leg. It sort of goes up and then it dog legs around 10 o'clock. Again, lovely golf hole. You've seen me use this hole plenty of times in my other videos. And it's really important on this hole. We talked about knowing your golf course. We talked about the bush on the green on the 3rd hole, which is our second that we played. On this hole, because of the dog leg and the way the trees have grown up, it's a hole you really need to keep it middle to right side of the fairway. If you go left here, unless you are a very, very long hitter, I'm talking you can hit it 280 to 300, you're going to be blocked out, okay? And it's 260 or so to get to the trees up ahead. So in these conditions, that's probably playing about 290. So I'm not going to reach that. So this is an easy decision. It's just a driver today, and I can play that up the hole. So now I've got to go with what we've just told you. Have that mental picture that what I'm doing is favour the right side. Even if I go in the very light rough here, it's not a problem because it opens the hole right up. Yes, I might have a slightly longer club into the green, but that's okay, all right? I want to have a shot into the green. So I naturally draw the ball. So for me, I can aim up the right side of the fairway. Just a nice committed drive. And again, we've hit the ball really solidly so far. Let's see if we can keep that feeling going. Okay, well, that's interesting because I got a little bit quick there and I've done exactly what I told you I didn't want to do. So I've gone down the left side of the fairway. I might be far enough because it was a decent strike, but for some reason I didn't keep my rhythm. I lost that feeling slightly. I came fractionally over the top and I've just pulled it down the left side. But let's go and see what we got. That's the fun of golf. It might be in a position I might be okay. Until I get there, I don't know. And then it's looking at that and then assessing the next shot, see if I can get it on the green from there. But it doesn't always work out perfectly. Let's see what we got. So I've got to where my tee shot ended up, and exactly what I thought when I hit the shot. It's landed on the fairway. My little bit of draw, it's drawn me in just into the rough. So not a great lie, and as you can probably see from the camera angle there, you can't even see the flag. Trees are in the way. I've now got a little bit of a dilemma, but let's get some information. So I'm just going to come over to the side here, just get some yardage, and that seems a bit long. Yeah, that's more like it. 146. So that's what I did there was quite interesting. I see people pick up their viewfinders and they'll get their first number, and I've got the 150 marker bias, and it said 171 yards. So I knew straight away where I could see the flag on the green that wasn't the case. My viewfinder had picked something up behind the green, but I see a lot of golfers, what they do is they go for that 171 number. So because I know the course, because I know where I am, I just did it again and I got 146. Now, here's the problem. If I want to get this ball on the green or close to the flag, I really need to hit a draw. And I do hit a natural draw. So that's in my favour, but I'm in the rough, it's wet grass, and it's sitting down a little bit. So all those factors which I showed in one of my previous videos when I did sort of long shots, playing out the rough, trying to draw the ball, that wet grass is probably going to fill up the grooves. It's going to make it hard to hit that draw. So now I've got to sort of make a decision. What am I going to do here? Am I going to play a shot that I play out to the right side of the green with the right distance, and if I don't get the shape, I'll back myself to chip and putt and get it up and down that way? Do I, number two, the ego gets in the way a little bit and I try and hit the big draw around the corner, and if I don't get it right, it's just going to go straight right into the trees? Or the third option is, do I just play up short and then back myself maybe from 50 yards to get up and down? There are my three options, and I think it's really important to look at. Now, because I trust myself and where I am in my game, I'm going to go for the first option. I'm going to take a 7-iron, which I think will give me the right distance, and if I don't get the draw and I just stay on the right edge of the green, I'll back myself to do maybe a little 10-yard chip onto the green, and hopefully then get up and down there and save my 4 that way. Okay, and I think from the lie as well, I'd rather hit a 7-iron out of that. Probably if I was on the fairway, I might have even hit a 6-iron. But the lie isn't great, and I'd like to get the loft to get it up and out of that lie. So I'm going to take a 7-iron. If I get on the green, it's a massive bonus. Okay, and what I look at always when I play golf is the tee shot has caused this problem. I should have been over there, okay, but I didn't execute it perfectly. So now what I've got to look at, this is probably what I call a 4.5 hole. This is a hole on average, I'd probably half the time now get a 4 on it, and half the time I'd get a 5. And mentally I'm happy that if I make a 5, I'm not going to be too disappointed with that. But let's trust ourselves. Let's see if we can play out to the right side of the green and see if we can get a result that way. Again, like we've done, we've made a decision, commit to it. Let's go. Okay, well, it's on the right edge of the green. So whether it's got the distance, and I think I've literally just hung on to the edge of the green. So with my natural shape, it came out of that lie a little bit better than I thought. It started right at the green. It had a tiny little bit of draw. I've probably put that within 30 feet of the hole. On this occasion, by not trying to be too clever and try and hit the big draw, I just let my natural swing happen. I've ended up okay. If it'd gone down the bank, that's what I was expecting anyway. I've just got a little bit better result than normal there. Let's see if we can get that putt in, make a birdie on this, or at least finish with 3 pars. So as we said down the fairway, I've just crept on the green. I'm literally 6 inches onto the edge of the green. You can see the flag. Let's go and do a little bit of sort of get some information and understand what we've got to do on this putt. Okay, so you know my green reading method. If you've watched that, I always go up and I'll pace it out how far we've got to go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 paces. But actually the most important thing I'm looking for is, where's the water going to run? If I fill that hole up with water, where's it going to run? It looks like it's probably just going to go fractionally, as the camera's looking at it, to the left of the golf ball. So that side of the ball, just fractionally. But I'm only talking a tiny amount. So I could probably, I mean, because this is such a long putt, what are we saying, 13 paces, we're talking around about 35 feet. This is a putt, if I just get the weight right, coming up that hill, go pretty straight, I'm not going to be too far away. And I'll take 2 putts from here, okay? From the tee shot, as we said, it was a hole where I'd probably be expecting to chip and putt to save my par. Now, because the shot was good going up the hole, I've now got an opportunity to maybe two putt it and get out here with my par. Okay, now just getting rid of all these loose impediments. Somebody earlier has played, and there's a pitch mark here. Anything like that, get rid of them, repair them. One, it allows your ball to roll nicely on the green. Two, it keeps the golf course in a better condition. So I'm going to make that decision today. I'm just going to go straight at it. I'm going to take that. It's a pretty straight putt up the hill. I can feel how steep the slope is as I'm walking back down to my ball. Wet green, so 35-foot putt. I've got to give this a real sort of quite a firm wrap up the hill. And again, as I said, from this position, if I can two putt it, I'm very happy with that result. But again, remember, the greens are wet, it's all uphill. Hit it firmly. Okay, and there's that low point we said, and you can see it just at the end, starting to turn that way. But the main priority on that putt, because there wasn't a lot of break on it, was get the speed right, which I did. I've got my tap in par. And hopefully what you've seen is we've played those 3 holes today in these cold winter conditions. We learn, hit more club. Be clever, especially when we look at the shots. Let's start with putting. The greens were very wet. I could feel that underfoot. Learned on the first hole that we played, I didn't get it to the hole. The next 2 holes, much better putts, gave myself a chance. All my shots into the green, making sure I had plenty of club. Hit one more club on the par 3, hit one more club over the water on the second hole that we played, and in that last hole, because it's coming out of the rough, I just went my normal distance, normal club there, and it got me on the green. And my tee shots, when you look at my fairway wood, I hit off the tee instead of the hybrid, and then the drive wasn't my best there, but that happens. And I think that's the important thing to understand. Golf is never a game. There's a book out there by Bob Rotella. Golf is not a game of perfect, and it's 100% that. If you're going out to play the perfect game, good luck. And when you're playing in conditions like this, you're going to get some funny results. So learn from it. Every time you go out and play, learn from what's happening, enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon.